normally, on the improvement of the graphical workflow, or his contribution to the color management of Danone. At the end of the day, Christophe is an expert of the whole design value chain. On his side, Vincent has a rich past in brand management for Coca-Cola France, where he was working in Coca-Cola, Sprite, or Coke Light, as well as for General Mills on brands such as Häagen-Dazs or Old El Paso. He ended up joining Pixelis, that he used to work with when he was on the client side. And Vincent loves bringing his brand strategies and consumer touchpoints expertise to Pixelis clients. Today, they will tell us more about the adoption of sustainability and CSR, corporate social responsibility, strategies in corporations, building up on their provocative claim, we need more packaging, but better packaging. They do not preach a revolution, but a pragmatical and tangible course of action to reduce the impact of packaging. They will elaborate on the integration of sustainable packaging into brand strategies and how it creates value from the product creation onwards. The floor is yours.
Okay, the microphone needs to be switched up.
Probably is now.
Sorry. No, it's not. Sorry for that. Hello.
Yeah.
It works rather well. Well, thank you very much for this extensive introduction. And yes, we are very much aligned with the presentation that preceded us in many ways, except on one point, but I'm sure that Nicolas will forgive us. We believe that, basically we like packaging. We keep hearing complaints about packaging, especially about its impact toward the planet. But my point of view is that, one, I like packaging. We all work somehow around packaging, around design and packaging. And I believe we need more packaging, but not any packaging. We need more good packaging, and that's the important part. Why? Because as a civilization, we are at a crossroad. Oh, yeah. Yesterday we had an orange from the email group. We had to change quickly, and we decided to have a banana inside instead. So, yeah, we believe that we are, as a civilization, at crossroads. Our basically worldview is expanding. Our vision is becoming broader and more inclusive. And in this context, the question is really worth being asked. What does good mean? What does good packaging mean? How what was once a good thing became a bad thing over the years? How what was once a revolutionary solution became a tremendous problem, because that's what it was originally, an incredible solution to protect the good inside the packaging. And more importantly, how did we get there? Another way to look at it is to think that, in fact, we don't have a pollution problem. We have a design problem. This is why pollution must be designed out by intention. That's a way to look at it. But still the question remains, how does packaging become a revolutionary solution again? And here is, you didn't have to wait much, here is the most important part, to my opinion, of this presentation, sorry, of my presentation. I'm not talking on behalf of Vincent, coming just after. Does anybody of you knows who this person is? Nobody? Does anybody of you has a Nokia mobile phone in his pocket? Not the new version, which is just about to be released, but the old version.
We got one person.
Where? Nokia mobile phone, yeah?
I have Nokia.
Oh, okay, very good. So you know who he is?
Should know, I guess.
Okay. He is a former, I said this was the most important part of my presentation. He is a former CEO of Nokia. Yeah. And he was basically saying, he was very affected, and this was before the takeover by Microsoft. And he was saying, we didn't do anything wrong, but somehow we lost. That's what he was saying. Of course, that was his last word as Nokia CEO. He's still alive, and I think he's well, yeah? So, today's risk, in fact, and this is how I take it, today's risk is no longer to do something wrong, to do a mistake or to do something not so good, but it's not to have, right from the beginning, the intention to do something good. That's a real risk. And in order to tackle the challenge, we need a new model. We need innovation. And in terms of innovation, there is one quote that I particularly like, is this one. Innovation is change that unlocks new value. I'm sure you're all familiar with, you've got quick, good quality, and cheap, but you can only choose two. You know, quick and cheap, but it won't be necessarily good quality, and so on. With innovation, you can potentially get the three, because that's a new model, and that's what we need. So we could say that reducing our negative impact is not the goal anymore, but it has only become one step of the way to doing more good. Of course, whether as part of our client, CSR, corporate and social responsibility, or from themselves or from ourselves, from a commercial perspective, we have seen packaging optimization and sustainability becoming a key concern in the industry. So in response to this, we've developed a range of services to help them and help ourselves to capture opportunities and deliver projects that would be beneficial to the environment. Take my former client, Danone Water, for instance. They found many ways over the years to reduce their packaging thickness, the plastic bottle weight, use less plastic. Maybe, and I'm just saying maybe, with a different set of mind, this could have been done just in one go, or maybe in 2 times instead of 10, who knows. Flow dematerialization. So this is where we allow our client to collaborate online, a little bit like the presentation we saw yesterday from ESCO, but it's a little bit more, complex, and as well, what is really important is how we use those IT tools. But essentially, we allow our client to collaborate online without having to travel, without having to manufacture physical materials such as Epson proof, or what we used to call chromolinks, and without to dispatch them. It doesn't look like it, but some factual figures. The fact of sending a parcel from Paris to Marseille, I'm sure you all know Paris, but Marseille, maybe not. So it's an 800 kilometer journey, so it's about 500 miles, let's say. So this, in terms of energy, is equivalent of 8 hours of light with a 65-watt lamp. That's what it is. So we've implemented such system with our client, the Bell Group. It's a branded cheese group, famous brand are Baby Bell, the Laughing Cows, and so on. And at least, I haven't got a precise bookkeeping about this, but at least we saved them 100 parcels, yeah? And it's not much, 100 parcels, but that's already 800 hours of light with a 65-watt lamp. Then we have something that I really like personally, virtual NPD. Virtual NPD, developing new product in a virtual environment. So we all know NPD for activating, for animating your brands, making things nice and interesting. You can have a little man dancing on the box of cornflakes in the morning for your kids and that kind of things. But I believe there is a lot of value into developing product using those techniques as well. And I believe that if a company like Ford, a 100 years old plus company like Ford, has been using NPD for years, yeah, to develop new product, for sure, it must be applicable to our highly computerized graphic industry. I remember I was visiting one of my clients in Lithuania, Igne, that was her name. She works at Lidl. And they were working on their concept store, and she was completely exhausted because they had to revisit all corners of the shop. The bread, the vegetables, the meat, the fish, the wine, the toys, and everything. And they had to rework and repaint and change the decorating settings about 50 times throughout the shop. She was completely exhausted. This was done under a huge time pressure. And I said, Igne, why did you not come to us? We could have done it virtually maybe 40, 45 times, along what we saw yesterday with ESCO's virtual store visualizer, but there again, a little bit more, slightly different product, a bit more bespoke, let's say. So you could have done it 40, 45 times with us, and maybe at the back of it, 1, 2, 3 times for real, and guess how much, see how much you would have saved in terms of money, cost, energy, planet impact, and things like that. Then there is one thing that also fascinates me truly in what we are doing, is the incredible redundancy of tasks in standard workflow architecture. I feel that what we do, so essentially managing graphics and brand in environments that are linked to FMCG or CPG, some would say, is basically really well organized. There is legal communication protocol. I'm not talking about all companies. In some companies it's well organized, but in general, and we see a lot of companies. There is legal communication protocol, but more importantly, each participant to a project has to go way beyond, before and after his own area of competence, his own perimeter, because of ensuring communication. I was going to say good communication, but it's even rarely good communication, just communication with the following participant. So to the contrary, our unique integration model not only eliminates, gets rid of redundant tasks, but as well enables to integrate constraints upstream and downstream right from the beginning, and maximizes the possibility to find optimization opportunities. To give an idea, very brief example or illustration, in our company, print proof are approved 90% first time right. So 90% of our print proof are approved the first time, versus an industry average of about 2 proof per design. That's a good illustration. Going as well from a documentary-centric organization to a data-centric organization is a key thing. And we had some element of that in the presentation that preceded us. So documentary-centric organization is an organization, it's not only based on paper, it could be based on emails or any type of document, but basically it is based on documents that are circulated in an organization. So first of all, they need to be circulated, they need to be stored, but more importantly, sooner or later, they need to be reconciled. So that's a documentary-centric organization. A data-centric organization, for the picture, for the illustration, is like having everybody sitting around a huge computer or hard drive, and each user or each participant to a project extract live a view with exactly what they need, but just what they need, and this view is updated live. There again, as a simple illustration of the positive impact it can have, the storage, this is from CleanFox, the storage of one email for 1 year is the equivalent of a journey of 2.6 kilometers by metro or by tube for one person. As a company, we manage easily 400,000 emails, and we are not a very large company, we are 235 people in the group. We manage at least, at the very least, 400,000 emails per year. 400,000 emails, what it is, this is a journey of 10 kilometers, like going to work, back and forth, for 200 people for 1 year, by tube. And we did a lot more. We had some elements yesterday of color optimization, so number of color optimization. I'm not talking about reducing the number of colors to its absolute minimum. I'm just saying we should print with the right number of colors. And we had some element of this with email as well yesterday. Print process migration, going for instance to the best printing process, whether that's a digital printing process or flexographic, offset or gravure. Just one final small illustration of this. I've worked, and it took me 2 years to get this project running. 2 years not because of the technology not being available, but 2 years to convince people to do it. And it's today in the market. One of my clients is Campo Frio. The brand of Campo Frio, for the one living in France, are Aoste, okay, Campo Frio of course, Aoste, Justin Bridou, and Cochonneau. It's a cured meat ham company, a leading company in Europe. They went from printing 9 colors in gravure down to 4 colors plus 1 white in flexography. Just this, from a CO2 perspective, according to DuPont de Nemours, the chemical American company, just this is a saving on their CO2 emission of 50%. And this is just going from gravure printing to flexographic printing. And then on top of that, because of the reduction of color, because of using more appropriate way of proceeding, they also saved in excess of 60%, not 50, 60% on their cost. So, as a conclusion for my part, I'm sure you're convinced that we have a lot to offer, and we have even a lot more than that to offer. And those are all things that you might have experienced or saw or might even be implemented in your company. I don't see those things are being completely revolutionary, but still I don't see them in a lot of companies. Or there is something else that frequently happens. I see those projects being implemented in companies, but the companies those projects are implemented in do not communicate on them, probably because they believe they are not perfect or that the project is not completed the way they originally saw it and so on. So how can we do good together? How can we do better, starting with helping you or our clients with communicating on their great business initiative? I think Vincent has something to say about this. Thank you.
Thank you, Christophe. Is my mic on? Can you hear me? Yeah. So I'm going to go quickly through who we are at Pixelis and how we can do good, as Christophe was explaining. And we are a 21 years old independent agency, branding agency. Very important for us to be still independent. We have graphic designers, and to build on what Nicolas was saying, we have some strategist graphic designers. Not everyone, but some of them are, and it's definitely important. You will hear this message a lot, but at Pixelis we want to do good. We strive to do good, and we essentially want to help our clients to do good together. So we always strive to do better, and we call at Pixelis our client, or some of them, the heroic brands that we like to help and to work with, because they are willing to change. And this is a really important goal for 2 days, almost 2 days now. We are talking about changing together, moving forward together. So we are really talking a lot about for good in this presentation. Why? Because our belief is that the power to influence today our society is into brands. They have the power to change. They have the power to influence through their design and innovation. And this is our role as an agency, to help them to have a useful brand, an inspiring brand. This is really important because we don't have the choice anymore. Okay, actually, we do have the choice, but just remember the Nokia case, you know. So this is not an option today. And if we look at a figure which is quite interesting, it's like 89% of the US citizens today are willing to switch from a brand to another if this brand has a purpose and a social impact. So again, the change is there, and we don't have any choice anymore. So at Pixelis, we really wanted to have this impact as well, and change comes from the inside. So we decided to transform ourselves and to change from the inside. So we want to have a positive impact to the society today. And as I was saying, we always strive to do better. So it's not that easy. It's a difficult task, but aiming for good is changing from the inside. Is changing, in consciousness, in behaviors, and it's a long way to go. But we had a quite good success almost a year and a half ago. Who knows the B Corp corporation? The B Corporation label. Anyone in the room? No one from Danone Group, for example? No? This is a certification we get end of 2015. It's benefit corporation. So we've been certified, and we were the first branding agency in the world to be certified. So we are today really proud to stand with our new signature, which is branding for good, because this is all about this label and this certification. This is a long journey to go, and we have great company names going with us. I was talking about Danone, but some business units of Danone are certified today. But we have great leaders like Patagonia, Ben & Jerry's, Natura, and this is a real community that today reached more than 2,000 B Corps in the world. And they are these big names, this whole community of companies want to change the society, the world, basically. And I wanted to share this example of Patagonia. You probably know this brand, and they had an exceptional initiative at the last Black Friday when they make thousands of millions of dollars, a day, and they switched from 1% to the planet. I also assume that you may know this program, to 100% for the planet on that particular day. So it is a huge engagement from this company. And the example you can see just next to it, it's also a very big engagement. It's "Don't Buy This Jacket" campaign. I mean, who could imagine a brand that sells clothes has is bold enough to share this campaign, to broadcast this campaign, It's not yesterday, it was not yesterday, it was in 2011. So at that time they were already promoting reuse, recycling, repair clothes, and they sell clothes in the same time. So it is a very good example that I wanted to share with you. We have to assume today that consumer users, we have to apprehend them as citizens first. It's not an option again anymore. We know that consumers today, before making their choice, they will look at the company, they will look at their CSR strategy, they will look at, they want to have meaningful purchase every time. So it's really important for the millennials today. We know that 84% of them are inquiring the CSR strategy of the company before making the choice. So we know and we believe today that the visibility of your commitments on this CSR strategy are a real asset. And you don't have to be perfect to start communicating on them. And it's even a value that we need to put on the product. The product can be a relay to find this kind of information. So this is the way we need to be integrated. I'm sure you know this amazing and ambitious project as well. It's a young Dutch guy. He was 19 when he had this amazing idea to clean the ocean. And this project now is a big company. It's called Ocean Cleanup. Last summer, he had a live test, and it worked. So the program will be rolled out now end of this year, 2017. The guy is 23 years old. He will just clean the ocean. So it's just an amazing example to show how the new generation push forward, and they want different things. They want to commit. They want to work with committed actors today. It's a real change. So a very natural transition to this program is this method plastic bottle. I have one example here with me that we can pass by through the room if you want to touch it. Method is an American company, and they have designed this project, this bottle, and it's made with 10% of plastic coming from the ocean and 90% recycled plastic. The point here I wanted to make is CSR doesn't need to be an aside topic that we talked about. It has to be fully integrated. It has to also support the aim of selling products. But we have an interesting figure here that says companies that have integrated CSR in their strategy are 13% more efficient than the others. So it's something we need to have in mind, and we need really to, and again, this is where we help our clients to have a holistic strategy regarding their CSR strategy. The point here, and on this specific example, is that the product arrived on shelf in 2012, and Method has been the 7th fastest growing company in the US history. So it's a very great example we wanted to share here. So the point also is to say, don't throw anything away. There's no away, basically. So it's there's no such thing as waste. Actually, today we are already in a circular economy. We talked about circular economy in the Decathlon presentation, in our whole discussion here. We are in a circular economy today. But yes, we recycle. But the point is that we are losing material value at each step when we recycle. So in the end, we are losing value. So we need to come up with a solution that has a positive impact and not just reducing the value step after step. We have to set good intentions from the beginning, from the design process, from the start of any project. And that will make the difference. That will make the change, because the aim today is not to do less bad, it's just to do more good. And this is exactly the philosophy that we will spend a couple of minutes on, which is the cradle-to-cradle philosophy. Maybe some of you know already this philosophy here. And you have the attributes of the cradle-to-cradle design framework under the eyes. And this philosophy helps to solve the problems that we are facing with an impact solution from the brand strategy to the packaging projection. So cradle to cradle is creating positive impacts through design and strategy. And I'll refer to my notes because it's quite important to say it correctly. It aims to create safe and high quality materials and products for the circular economy with an industry powered with renewable energy, with buildings that clean the air, clean the water, and celebrate also the people that do all of this. So it's a real full integrated philosophy. And this is why we partner with David Amar at Pixelis as an agency, because we need the experts. And David, with his own agency, Nous Sommes le Futur, is an MBDC affiliate, creator of this design framework at Cradle to Cradle. So we wanted to share amazing examples to finish the presentation. We have 3 of them. This one is just amazing. Imagine a packaging that will create value and not the opposite. Maybe you don't know that, but in the US, there is every year 14 billion prescriptions of pills. And it comes in this small orange bottle. So there is a way to reduce waste. There is a way to say we can recycle, we can reduce the weight of plastic in this bottle, etc., etc. But there's another way to look at it. It's using the cradle-to-cradle framework and say, how do we look for something that will be designed forever? And this project, this bottle you can see now on the big picture, is a student project. I refer again to my note to be correct. Her name is Mallory Barrett, and with this project, she won the Cradle to Cradle Products Innovation Institute Design Challenge. It's a huge thing. Because basically what they teach at the California University, when they talk about design, this is design for life. So it's really, really different. This bottle has been designed with everything in mind. They thought about the look, the end user, the high quality, the reuse and recycle strategy, the sterilization, the transport, even the business model behind that. So it's made with stainless steel and biodegradable ink and paper. And this is a perfect example to show that it has been used, the two first attributes of the cradle-to-cradle design for the technical cycle, which are the material health and the material reutilization. Second example, imagine now a packaging that will bring nutrients to the soil as it decomposes itself. It can be in the open air or in industrial or in a home compost. This is a company called Ecovative, and they are growing foam. This is basically a packaging made in mushroom. So this is, it could be a really end of a pollution problem. You know, there's big companies using it already, like Dell, like Stanhope Seta, sorry, and even IKEA plans to use it. So it's just a perfect packaging. It's safe, it's entirely biodegradable, and if imagine by accident it may finish in the ocean, in 2 months it would be totally disappeared. This last example I wanted to take, and I thank Jessica, who is here today with us, because she allowed us to share this example on the Carlsberg brand. And there's also Richard in the room that actually was part of this project with his own company. This project is obviously to talk about this packaging and this amazing bottle. It's again biodegradable, bio-based, it's functional, it's durable. I mean, this bottle obviously keep the quality of the product hyper safe, but it also keep your beer cold longer. Just that is just even greater, you know. So this slide is to illustrate that it's not only a design team that can work or lead this kind of project. It has to be a whole community, you know, because you have to integrate every contractors that work on the project. You have to work as a team, as a community, through, I mean, in the same direction, with the same objectives. You cannot do that by yourself, using the cradle-to-cradle design framework. All right. So we talked also about that during a day and a half, like working together. And this is a typical example to show that we need to think differently, and we need to adopt new methods to look after innovation. So now we can have a sense of what could be a good packaging. I wanted to share a last story, full of hope for me, so I really like it. And it comes also from the founder of Cradle-to-Cradle, which is Bill McDonough that we talked about earlier. And the point is to say, ask a child today to draw a factory. There's a high percentage of chance to get this kind of picture, because this is the society where we live today. But why don't we get this? You know, we say maybe it's a near future. Maybe in 10 years, children will draw factories like that. It's a hope, but it's not a dream, because it already exists. And you know what? This is the factory of the metals bottle you have in your hands. It's in Chicago. It's been designed by Bill McDonough. Renewable energy use. There's 4,000 square meters on the roof that grow vegetable and nourish the employees and their family of the factory. So imagine the future together, and imagine what we could do together. Thank you.
Very inspiring indeed. Thank you, boys. Do you have any questions for Vincent and Richard and Christophe, sir? not one, I have one. Let me be the devil's advocate. We could say that in the last 10 years we have seen a lot of greenwashing going around, which means words without actions following them. What makes you believe that today you have a real launch window and that makes you so optimistic, I would say, regarding the future of, among other things, packaging?
I think I will link back to the figures of the survey we can have today, and I mean it's not something that comes from the brand pushed to the consumers today. It's the reverse mode. It's just companies hearing what want consumers today, and it's a must. They have to adapt, and I think it's a circular way. Very, I mean, yeah, it's a circular way to move forward all together. And I was saying that people are now really looking, and we have seen that also in the Decathlon presentation. You know, you want to see where your packaging comes from and what your product has been made with. So it's not a choice anymore. It's, I mean, greenwashing to me doesn't exist anymore. We have to be true.
I would say it's based on statistics, as Vincent was saying, but as well there is this natural. I mean, I know Idriss Alberkan was recommended to me as a lecture by David. Is basically saying each project is going all the way through. It's ridiculous, it's dangerous, and then it's normal. Yeah. So he takes the French Revolution and he says, look, French Revolution, women voting, come on, in 1789, women voting, it's ridiculous. 100 years later, women voting, 1889, women voting, come on, who's going to take care of the kid and the washing up? It's dangerous. 100 years later, 1989, women voting, yes, of course, that's normal. So there is this development that we can all see in the society, and we can all read in the newspaper and everything, but as well, this is absolutely backed up by statistics, surveys, and many concerns around CSR responsibilities. And we could see that with Decathlon, with Coca, with Amazon, with, you know, and you're in the heart of that. I think there is a question as well.
Good to hear, thank you.
Thank you for your work. Thank you for your good presentation. I still keep wondering whether all your customers and consumers, do they live in the Western world, Western countries?
In what, sorry?
In the Western world.
No, personally, my background, and I'm talking not only about Pixelis and the company we are here for today, I'm talking about quite a few companies over the past 15 years, were located or are located quite a lot in the US. Health Pet Nutrition, for instance, was one of my clients. Another, Colgate-Palmolive, another US-based company. Throughout Europe up to Australia and a little bit in Asia. This is the company I've been working with on the type of project we've displayed today. I don't know about you, Vincent.
So sorry, but your consumers are still Western-based, right?
You could say that, to a point. Yeah, to a point you could say that. Not 100%, but a good 80% I would say yes.
But for the Carlsberg example, the bottle we've seen on the slide is not actually on the market, but we have 2 cans. You can actually buy 2 cans of Carlsberg and one from the 1664 brand, which is glass bottle, and this is on the market actually. So it's global, and these 3 formats went through the cradle-to-cradle design framework to be designed. So it's also a global approach there.
More questions? Okay, we will thank you then.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.